So welcome back to part 2 and to day 5. Now yesterday we were looking at how to get the very best out of this exercise, how you can approach visualization in a way that it feels very passive, almost effortless, and yet you still get to experience the feeling of it, the benefits of it. A really common question is, how can we be focused on both the breath and the visualization at the same time? And it's important to clarify the visualization receives our full attention, yet we will inevitably be aware of the movement of breath at times during the exercise. And that's fine. We shouldn't think that's getting in the way of the visualization. In fact, if anything, it even adds a feeling of movement, of it, almost the exercise being alive. So it's actually quite useful just to have that in the background, that movement, that rising, falling sensation. And when we imagine the body, it's not that we're imagining something physical, tangible, in the same way as you imagine a friend, perhaps someone in your family, if you just imagine them in your mind right now. It's when we imagine someone in the mind like that, then there's nothing kind of physical there. It's almost like a rainbow in the sky. You know, we see it, and yet we could put our hand right through it. So in the same way, when we're doing the visualization, when we're aware of the breath, the body appears in the mind as something quite intangible, something we can't really touch. And the more we move through the visualization, the more it becomes like that, the more that spacious quality sort of takes over. So just a couple of things to keep in mind as you begin today's exercise. So taking just a moment to settle in, to get comfortable. And when you're ready, just starting in the usual way. Some big deep breaths in through the nose and out through the mouth. And with the next out breath, just closing the eyes as you start to feel the weight of the body pressing down. And you just settle into the different sensations and sounds around you. And as you bring the attention back to the body, starting off at the top of the head, just gently scanning down all the way down to the toes. So as you scan down and perhaps start to notice where in the body you feel the breath today, just being curious about the movement of the breath without trying to change it. Just noticing how the breath feels, how it appears. Again, almost allowing it to be the backdrop for the exercise as you shift your attention above the head. And just imagine that warm, clear feeling of sunlight shining down on the body, through the body, as it begins to melt away any tension, any difficulty you may have. Just watching as each and every part of the body becomes increasingly spacious and clear. No matter how slowly or quickly you move with this exercise, it's as though you're watching it happen. It's not like you're doing it, it's as though you're simply observing the process taking place. So it's an effortless kind of approach. Just continuing in that way. Remember, no matter how quickly or slow you choose to imagine this taking place, if you move a bit quicker, it's as though the process is simply repeated many times. Each time that physical, tangible idea of the body becoming increasingly refined until there's nothing left but clear, warm sense of spaciousness. And this, we just rest the mind in this quiet place of confidence. So, no matter what it is that takes your attention away, as soon as you realize that the mind's wandered off, just coming back to that feeling again. And now just letting go of that focus. Allow the feeling to remain, but just let your mind do whatever it wants to do now. And now just bringing the attention back to the body once again. The physical sensations, the weight of the body, feet on the floor. Starting to notice the different sounds again around you, both those loud and very quiet. And you can just open your eyes in your own time. As always, feel free to have a stretch. Just remind ourselves the importance of doing this throughout the day. So if you can, at least 3 times a day, just replay this visualization, even if you just take 3 seconds, preferably more like 10 seconds, but just replaying it to remind yourself of the feeling. It's not enough to think about it as an idea. We actually have to remind ourselves of the feeling, almost reliving the feeling. That's when it becomes real, and that's how it starts to impact the way we feel and the way we are in our life. And use the breath. I mentioned the breath at the beginning of today's session. Use that almost as a barometer. Try and catch yourself if you can when it disappears into lots of negative thinking, negative chatter about yourself. Notice what the breath is doing. The breath is a great barometer for how we're feeling. So just try to catch yourself and notice that if you can, and then repeat the visualization. I look forward to seeing you back here tomorrow for day 6.